Alice, you came at a good time. We have Alice.
Hi, I love you.
So thank you both for being here.
We're twins.
The Alices. Yeah, it's good to have you. Appreciate you coming. As you can see, we have some artwork back here. This is stuff that Alice made. You can check out her artwork on her Instagram. And we're just going to go ahead and get right into it.
Yeah. Sorry, I took my gum out. I forgot I still had it, and I don't want people to shame.
What is that sound?
They're like, I can't listen to this, man. The ASMR is not working.
Yeah, if you're listening to this with headphones, like, all the way up, it's like, what the, God damn it.
Yeah, I'm the most grating human alive in that aspect.
So, you mentioned that you'd recently started going to therapy.
Yeah.
And something we were talking about right before Alice got here. What is something you would tell yourself as, like, if you could, like, have a time capsule and tell your younger self anything, what would be the thing you'd tell him, if you could tell him one thing?
Probably just, it's going to get fucked up real bad, but it's going to get better. And, it's never too late to love yourself more than you seek the love of others. You're going to have to do a lot of reparenting for your own mental well-being, but it's going to be fun.
Isn't it interesting how things that happen to us as kids, like, shape us forever?
It fucks us up.
Yeah.
It, like, literally, I never realized how much, like, your childhood can really just either make or break you. And when it breaks you, it fucking breaks you down. It's so crazy.
Yeah, you can, like, not even know how broken down you've been until, like, later on.
Like I said, I started therapy in December, and I got diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. And so I am about to be 39 in, like, on the 18th. So it's like finding out that you've been raw dogging this, like, intense mental anguish, this, like, thing that affects your whole being every day, and you're constantly on a roller coaster, is very shitty to find out this late in life. I mean, better late than never, but it's like, I literally can, like, walk through my life and see all the ways I have let this, like, disorder fuck up everything.
And hearing it explained helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
like, oh, that's why I did that.
Yeah. It was a refreshing moment to, like, be diagnosed, but then it was also like, fuck, like, now I have to deal with this, and I have to, like, monitor myself.
Like, address it, like, confront it.
Yeah. It sucks.
Yeah.
I hate it.
You have a lot of tattoos.
Yeah.
Do you have a... Sorry?
Quite a few.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite artist you go to?
Not really. Like, there's nobody, like, in particular that I'm just like, oh yeah, like, I see, like, Brad Osbrooks at Carter's Tattoo in Bowling Green. I've gotten a ton of tattoos by him. He's a great artist, but, like, nobody in Nashville I really go to, like, as frequently.
Gotcha. Just various people.
My big, like, rope bondage pieces, like, I don't know if you can see.
Oh, nice. No, I didn't see exactly what that was. That's really nice.
And then I have,
that's like photorealistic.
Yeah. Jake Oman did that. He doesn't work at Custom Thrills, but he used to. I don't know where he works now. But, like, those are really, like, two of my favorites.
That's good
they
work.
They mean a lot.
It's very, like photorealistic.
And
looks
then
like a painting.
There's, like, my little girly thing on the screen that people can see that it's either here or here.
Yeah, like right down here, I think.
Yeah. He drew that for me.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's in Barry's band.
Shit.
Yeah. It's everything's full circle.
What does he play in the band?
He's a drummer.
Okay, shout out to Look What I Did.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Shout out to Barry.
Yeah, shout out to Barry Donegan, for real.
Yeah.
The fucking goat, dude. So you wrote an article online called Hit Me Baby One More Time about BDSM. That's been a big part of your journey. Yeah. Can we get into, like, the psychology of that? Why do you think that is? Why do you?
Okay, so basically, whatever. Okay, so I was just me for my life, and then I was like, uh, yeah, I had a like substance abuse disorder, and so I was like drinking and doing drugs for like a major, like my entire 20s, let's basically, and then it got to the point where I was like so sick of myself. Like I was like, ooh, I just don't like you. I don't like who you are, and I don't like who you've become. So I decided to get sober, and then I decided to meet a dude off Facebook, and I lived in Philadelphia at the time, and so I met a dude on Facebook that lived like 20 minutes from my parents' house, and I decided to get married to him after 2 weeks, and then we decided to have kids.
Nice.
And so then we had 2 kids over the span of 6 years. And obviously, when you marry a stranger, things don't always work out.
What?
Mean,
No way.
I mean,
I gotta change my plans.
yeah. But like, okay, so, but now it's like totally cool. Like we got divorced, and we're like brother and sister. It's like sharing kids with your brother. That's what we call it. We're like we're homies. Like his girlfriend, like she comes. Like we're cool. Like we do family outings as like a family, and like everyone on Instagram. Like when I do those anonymous question things, they want to say like, "Oh, you're banging your ex-husband and his girlfriend." And I'm like, actually, no. I didn't bang my ex-husband when we were married. So, like, why am I going to start now?
Damn.
But, yeah.
I mean,
so
I got to commend you on keeping the children in mind and keeping it as stable as possible for them, because there's so many people that, especially couples that find out it didn't work for whatever reason, and then they just literally throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
You know?
See, like, so many people, co-parenting is like, okay, like, you're two adults, you have children, you make a choice, or maybe not have a choice, but you have a child together. And then it doesn't work out. So, like, now what? You hate each other? Like...
You can't. Yeah.
I mean, like, what is that going to do for the kid?
Nothing
like,
good.
Obviously, if, like, the other parent is, like, on drugs or abusive, obviously, but like, so many people want to hate. Like, I need to quit saying like. I feel like I say that every other word. But so many people want to like just start shit with their baby daddy. Like it's like a thing in society that it's almost a joke. And I'm like, who wants to live like that?
No, that's
for 18 plus years.
Mm-hmm. And
I'm not doing it.
That's a horrible thing to like involve the kid with.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Like my dad was an alcoholic, and my mom didn't like really want me to be around him. And then if I said anything favorable about my father, she would try to pit that against me and stuff. Like they didn't have a relationship after they divorced, and it made it really hard for me to like form that relationship with my dad. And then I mean he made it hard on his own or whatever, so it's just I just couldn't imagine letting my children live a life where it's constantly some sort of choice between one parent or the other. And I just want what's best for them. And he and I arguing all the time was not it. So now we have a family dynamic that works for us, and I truly believe like family is what you make of it. And so it's like fun now.
There were a lot of times my parents were together the entire time like as I was growing up, and they still are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're doing a lot better now. Probably not having kids around, honestly, but I think there were a lot of times where I was like, I really love both of you, but I can't stand you guys being together, you know? And there were a lot of times where I thought, like, it'd be better if they weren't, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's something to think about is sometimes that is the best decision is, like, if you're really having issues, like, you don't want that kind of environment for the kid to grow up in, so.
No.
I totally agree with you.
it's, and I get that, stay together for the kids mentality. You try to make it work for them, but in the end, you're just showing, and this is not a say on your parents or anything, but I feel like you're showing your children how to not live authentically.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's something to be said with, I think the idea of staying together for the kids is misconstrued with actually staying together. And what really people I think should take from that saying is you have to keep a level of communication between yourselves that you both can remove everything else from.
Yeah.
All the romantic, lack of romance, all the other stuff that was your relationship, it's come to an end, and it has to be, okay, that is at an end. So we don't need to bring that up. We don't need to ponder over that. The only thing we have between us now is these children. That's the only focus we have with each other. And I think you get people that, and it's on both sides, sometimes it's both sides at the same time that will get vindictive.
Yeah.
And that's where you completely lose,
I just don't understand, what is that going to do for anybody? I'm not going through that hell. Got me fucked up. I went through enough hell in my life. I'm not going to keep the cycle continuing.
Perpetuate that.
Yeah, exactly.
I hear you.
I totally derailed into
good.
parenting and stuff. But so we got divorced, right?
Yeah.
And things were going towards that way for a while. And once the sex goes, and I feel like people will try not to put an emphasis on sexuality in their relationships, but it's
a huge part of
a giant part.
Oh yeah.
And it's just I don't understand why people get into relationships that they're not sexually compatible with the person. And I've done it. I feel like everybody's done it because you like the person, you enjoy spending time with them. But in my mind, it's not going to work out. And so I had seen a photo on Instagram of a woman, and I'm pretty sure it was Brad Bile was his name on Instagram. I can't find him now, but of a woman tied up in rope bondage. And I was just something sparked in my brain, and I was like, I wonder what that's like. And so I'm really big on the curiouser. I'm always what makes me tick? And that was something that was just intriguing to me.
It just immediately grabbed your attention. Yeah.
And it spoke to me in ways that I didn't understand at the time. And then once we were done, I was like, I have to figure out what I'm missing. There's something missing within me. And that was kinky sex, I guess. I don't know, pain. I don't know, a lot of things, psychological torture. I don't know. I like a lot of things that most people don't want to happen to them.
Yeah,
and for the
I can
most
relate
part.
to that.
Yeah. And so I just started looking and talking and communicating about it. And I feel as though people don't communicate about some of those things.
Oh, I totally agree. It's actually really important stuff to talk about because it's so taboo. It's I really appreciate how just open about communicating about this kind of stuff you are. I think it's really healthy.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And most people don't, I guess. I think they're
afraid a lot of the time.
Or it's just not their thing. And I'm totally I am.
Yeah.
I missed my calling as a sex therapist or something because I feel like sex is so fucking awesome.
You could still get into that.
I know. I mean, it's never too late.
I was gonna say I think you should write a book.
Actually, maybe in your own right, because you do publish a bit of what you do. You probably are providing some therapy.
Yeah, there's no telling how many people you've helped already. Really.
I mean, people have come to me, and that's originally why I started to be so open about it on Instagram. That's really the only social media I utilize. I don't do Facebook, and
that's smart.
Facebook is just trash. People are so
Toxic.
negative on there. Like, I
Yeah.
can be negative all by myself at home. I don't need anybody else's input.
For that.
Like, for real. But I started to be open about it because the people that were open about it, and there are so many people through social media that just fucking spark my brain into, like, I want to try this. Or maybe something will be like a hard no, and then it'll be like, maybe not a hard no. But it's those people that, like, have unknowingly guided me through this journey and stuff. And I think it's healthy to talk about sex. I think it's healthy to have sex if you want to have sex.
Right,
I think it's healthy to explore your sexuality if it's something that you're really into the idea of exploring. I hate the thought of living my whole life not knowing what gets me the fuck off. I hate anybody going through that. I feel like it's too fun to not, and it's therapeutic in a way. Like, I can tell you one thing. I've definitely had, like, I used to be a lot more emotionally impulsive in terms of, like, just saying whatever the fuck I felt at the time. And when I used to get, like, these build up of, like, stress and emotion and everything in my mind. And then, you know, if someone just, like, hits me a couple times on the booty, then I'm good. Like, it's like such a release. And rope bondage is the craziest thing to me. And maybe that's why it spoke to me. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm all over the place.
No,
like,
you're fine.
I just,
you're
like,
totally fine.
I just am just speaking from whatever. I don't want to forget anything. But, like, so rope bondage, when I first did it, it was through a friend of a friend. He's a photographer, and he does rope bondage. And I was like, I really want to try that. And it just so happened to line up that he was coming into town. And I was like, will you see if I can join you guys or whatever? Like, I just really want to experience this. And he was down. Still a great friend. Buck Remington. He's an awesome person, very safe to work with, very just a good human. If you're trying to experience something new and you connect with him, it's really awesome. But the feeling of, like, have you ever done drugs?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Like, have you ever done...
I've done a lot of drugs.
Okay, I just didn't know. I don't want to call anyone out. Okay, have you ever done, like, ecstasy? Or Molly.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, so, like, you know that feeling when you're on Molly and you just feel so warm and you feel like...
yeah. Life is a blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You like that?
It's just like, oh God, it's that toasty. It's like the perfect temperature. And you're just like, your eyes just like open and you're just like, ah. Okay.
It's like the verge of a fever.
Yes.
Oh, that's good
but
too.
like, it's so good. It's a fever dream.
Yeah.
Because everything just feels electric and just like fucking crazy. Okay, anyways. Obviously, I'm an ex-addict. But like, don't.
I'm an ex-addict. As an ex-addict.
Oh my God.
I'm also an ex-addict.
Yeah.
Ex-addict.
Recovery is important.
A non-recovering ex-addict.
No, I didn't. Wait, huh?
Oh, I was... Yeah.
It's
Well,
probably...
Whoa.
It's a good thing I never had like a really good plug on that because it really is like the
Dude,
best
I
fucking
did
feeling.
it twice in one night, never touched it again.
Really?
Yeah, because I knew it was going to become an issue for me.
yeah.
And
I can see that. Yeah. I've only done it a handful of times, but every time it's been fucking incredible.
It's very easily mentally addictive because
Yeah.
it literally gives your brain
just a surge.
the best that it can get, and that's what it.
Okay.
Doing. The serotonin rush is just too much. It's very similar to heroin, along with its physical tendencies, actual physical addiction in your body. It actually releases some of the same endorphins that sex does, which is one of the reasons why it is a drug that is walked into very sexily, but then drains the sex.
Oh, yeah. The next day, I'll never watch The Wonder Years again. I was so just... What would you do if I sang out of tune? I was like, God, I just want to die right now. Like,
Yeah, that's hilarious.
ugh, I can still like see everything so clearly from that night. Ugh.
No, that's interesting about rope bondage. I'm really into masochism. I haven't done a lot of like bondage, but I love the what is it, shibari, Japanese.
Well, okay, so
yeah,
rope bondage. Like I'm just a white lady, so I say rope bondage. Like if I lived in Japan,
that's
and,
the fancy shit.
That's
Yeah.
like legitimate. We do like what is like Western.
I think there's
Rope
also
bondage.
you also have a different when you get that.
It just looks so pretty, like
when
all
you
the
get that heavily
knots
into
and
the
stuff.
art of it, it's easy to take away the BDSM side of it.
Well,
Because-
it's like, oh gosh, it's like such a thing. So the ecstasy. Let me go back to square one, and then I'll
Yeah.
go off of that. So rope bondage, like it's euphoria. Like I have a very loud brain, in case you couldn't tell. Like I have a lot going on in here at all times of the day. It's very rare that I'm ever just quiet inside. The thoughts run, and the first time I did rope bondage, I fell silent inside.
Wow.
It was a calm I've never experienced, a joy I've never experienced. Like it was better than doing Molly. Like
Interesting.
it just felt. I just
it's
felt.
like meditation.
Well, it's called Subspace, and I didn't even know I was in it at the time. Like I was on another level
Yeah.
in my mind.
Well, you've got
Fascinating.
There's a lot of blood constriction and air constriction and things going on. I imagine.
It's
you have
just.
to adjust your body to.
I mean, it just all depends on the tie and stuff, but it just felt like a hug in a way. And, like, I was like, this is my shit. Like, this is something that I have to have.
So is that something you enjoy on its own, or does it always become like a
No.
sexual thing?
No, it doesn't have to be sexual at all.
Okay.
Like, it's just such a calming thing for me. If I'm being tied, like, I'm going quiet. Like, there have been many, like, okay, so, like, COVID happened or whatever, and so I was trapped at home, and I was like, I've discovered something I want. I need to know more. So I ordered rope, and I conditioned it, and, started learning more about it, started doing self-ties and stuff, like, just playing with it, and, I randomly met someone that was into rope bondage through a dating app when neither of us said anything about like rope bondage on it. I don't do dating apps anymore. I cannot. Rather just jump off of a bridge.
Yeah, it's like we were talking about how toxic Facebook is. That's like kind of an unhealthy thing too sometimes.
Dating apps are terrible. It's
Yeah.
just like, it's like
I've run the gambit of them too. Yeah.
God, it's like going to the supermarket and be like, which banana do I want? Well, this banana's not good enough. Or like, this banana's mushy. This banana's not rich enough in flavor or something. I don't know. Like, not enough potassium. This banana's not hard enough. Things
Classic
like that.
banana.
Classic banana.
Too ripe.
Huh?
It's too ripe.
It's too ripe. But yeah, so everybody's looking for the next best banana from the bunch, and I'm the best. So I'm not gonna let anyone play me like I'm not. So I just don't even indulge in, and I don't have the time for small talk. Like it's draining me.
I feel that. Yeah.
I'm like, what's your favorite color?
You fuck that shit.
I don't give a fuck what your favorite color is. I don't want to watch you eat. I don't want to sit across from somebody while they lie to me to try to fuck me.
Yeah.
And watch them eat. No, hard pass. I don't even accept dates anymore. I won't go on them.
We do a lot of this, and I just like I love this. This is like really just a treat for me because it's deep. Like we're having like actual conversation, like intellectual conversation, not like you're talking about like what's your favorite color, like and then just bullshit, just filler bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I can't do it anymore. I don't have it in me to like have these meaningless conversations that definitely don't mean anything to them,
Yeah.
and sure the fuck don't mean anything to me at the end of the day, because I can get lied to on the internet in the privacy of my own home. So like sorry, but anyways, yeah, so I met someone that was into rope bondage, and we got together, and We had like a dom sub dynamic for a while but COVID, everybody's indoors and we were together every single weekend. And it wasn't a romantic relationship. It was like fuck friends or whatever, I guess. I don't know. It was like not going to be anything more than what it was. And in those types of situations, you kind of just get fucking sick of each other. Like, if you are say you're just with your buddy, like your homie that you have sex with, I guess. I don't know. But like, eventually you want your friend to go home, right?
Yeah.
Like, you always want to be...
All right, get the fuck
yeah,
out of
like,
here.
you're like, dude, I need personal space. But like, so we just like suffocate each other with each other. And then we had to like not talk for a while. But now we're friends again, and it's cool. Like, it's good to like be friends with someone that you had shared such, really eye-opening experiences with. Like, one time he tied me up, and he like I had like, what tie was it? I'm not even sure which one it was. I'm trying to see it in my mind. Irrelevant. Who cares what it was? Anyways, he picked me up and he went and put me in his closet and turned the lights on and said, I'll come get you when I'm ready. And I laid there with like this. Visuals! Like this. Until he came and got me. It wasn't too long, I don't guess. But I was in another world. It didn't matter. I could have lived there forever. I would be a skeleton in that closet right now. But
what's the longest you've been in bondage?
I don't know. Not that long. I mean, there's only so long you can really like be put in positions, and you always have to be mindful of like limbs going numb and stuff like that. Yeah. Depending on the tie, there was only one tie that was ever. It was like, oh, I am freaking out inside because my hand can't feel my hand, and I was like, I can't feel my hand. He automatically. It was a tie, he could untie me very quickly, but it's like when the blood started rushing back to my hand, it felt like pins and needles, and it, ooh, that was, I mean, and it was still fine, everything was fine, but in my mind, I was like, I need to feel my hand, like, I was freaking out internally, really, but I didn't let him know.
You had somebody that was pro enough on doing that.
This dude, he's a natural.
Yeah, because a lot of those relationships, and when I was younger, I knew people that would, and this is I was a lot younger, they were a lot younger also, so their dabbling into it might not have been, as very young. And a lot of it was more psychologically driven, like the domination thing, where if somebody was in discomfort, they were considering that part of what they were supposed to be doing. And that wasn't the case. It's not, if somebody wants the discomfort, there's a level that they're wanting.
Yeah.
And you have to be the person to know that level and not go past that level for your own sake.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, especially younger, because they're not understanding the give and take of a relationship, no matter what type it is, only view it from that one side, and then things can become dangerous,
Yeah, and sometimes, like, you try to push your limits. Like, I try to push my limits, but there's only so far. Like, I try to be very mindful while I'm losing my mind in a way. Like, I try to always step back into my body and say, what are you feeling like right now? And then a good dom will always be check in, tap, can you feel this? Can you feel this? How are you? They'll ask you questions and stuff about like your body, and they visually can say, I like to be blindfolded. I want to go away. I mean, if it's, depending on the situation, like I really just don't want to be here, and like I want to be there, but I want to be gone. But so it's like always having like a good top. Good top is always great. Like that really is thoughtful. And that's one thing I think that drew me to BDSM, and like I am very submissive, is the amount of care, I guess. Like, I don't see it as someone hurting me or being mean to me. I see it as someone who cares enough about me and trusts me enough to show me this part of them.
It's a good dom. Yeah.
Yeah. And someone who like respects, they're submissive. And there's so many like cases of like, fake dom. Like you hear about it online, but there's so many dudes. I'm just like, are you fucking serious? Like, I'll eat you the fuck alive. Like, I'm you snort like me. Oh.
Yeah, I don't.
Sorry.
I don't want to derail too much. I'll let you get back to that. But like I mentioned, I'm very submissive as well.
Yeah.
And I dated this girl one time that was also very submissive, and it just wasn't. It wasn't a good, like. She would like more so than me though.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was like, her thing was, I've never told this before.
Ooh, secret.
But her thing was vac beds. Have you ever heard
Oh
of
my
this?
god, they give me that's like,
It's like,
not crazy, obviously. That's like not
this
a term.
chick was crazy. Like
No.
no, she was.
Oh
like,
no.
Like no, this is not a good story.
Oh god, no.
Yeah.
Did you get vac bedded?
No.
Okay.
No. Like I said, I'm not dominant. But
explain to Alice what a vac bed.
I know what it is. Oh, Alice. Sorry, girl.
Alice, would you explain to Alice what a vac bed?
Yeah, why don't you explain to Alice what a vac bed
Okay,
is?
so it's basically a bed that you lay in, and it's normally made of like latex rubber, and it sucks all the air out, so you're just pinned down and you're trapped in like.
It's like suffocation.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Well, I mean, depending on.
Yeah,
Kinda
depending on
like
the
a
level
water
of it.
massager without the water and
No, you're like
air
flat.
getting sucked.
You're like,
And no massage.
like I'm not moving. Like I can't move. Oh gosh.
Kind of like vacuum sealing produce
Yeah,
at the
like the
supermarket.
or like you get the clothes bags and you put your old sweaters in them and then
Yeah.
you suck all the air
It's exactly
out.
like that.
That's it,
Yeah.
but for a human.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
And I respect people that can do that, but I am not that person. I'd rather be waterboarded.
I can respect it too. It's just not
Waterboarded.
like
Have you ever done that?
Not anything like very intense.
Okay, because I've always been curious about.
that can cause brain damage. You gotta be careful with that.
Yeah.
Disclaimer, Alice. Don't try any
Yeah.
of what we're
I'm not
talking
been
about.
curious
Also-
to have it done to me.
Yeah.
I've just kind of been curious about the whole act of it and what it pertains to, but
there's some things like I don't go too far with. Like I used to have a big thing for breath play and it got a little out of hand. And I don't want anyone to catch a charge for my
So that's
proclivities.
where I was at, because like that is not my thing. Like being
Oh,
super
goodness.
dominant.
Yeah.
About it. But like
It's like you're wearing a costume.
she
if you did it.
she wanted to escalate every time we had sex. She wanted to like take it up the next notch.
Yeah.
Like so it would started when we first started dating with like light choking until like way past the point where I'm comfortable doing this.
Oh no.
And then she showed me, I hope she doesn't watch this.
Girl, I'm not judging. Get
She
your nut.
showed me she pulled out her laptop and showed me vac bed gone wrong.
No, oh gosh.
And she had talking about
it's so like that's shit's scary.
Like
to
it
me.
actually scarred me when I saw that. Like I'm
Was
still
it the
not,
girl that was in? It just show you on Reddit.
No, this was like the dark web.
Oh no, hell no! I ain't
went
fucking around with
it
that.
went like too
That's too much for my. I'm too crybaby.
like I don't think he was able to bring her back.
Oh fuck! No, I
think-
no, I don't like
No,
it.
it wasn't. It was bad, and like that was the kind of the point where I'm like, I can't be in this relationship. Like this is, yeah. So again, like no kink shaming.
No,
I'm just saying
I want everyone to live.
For me, I was like, this is not. For my sake, I need to step away from this person.
Yeah.
Plus, it wasn't like I was getting into the dom role just because she was so into it.
Yeah.
But that's not, like I said, that's not my thing. So like it just didn't work out.
I
But
know.
yeah. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to
No.
derail. But you were talking about we were talking about rope and kind of the dom dynamic like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so that's so intense. Like I watched some of it. Like Cam Damage. She. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I feel bad. I feel rude. Anyway, he does a lot of back beds, and my boob's gonna fall out. And I'm always like admire it. You know, I'm like, that's really cool. I can't do it. I think that's why I admire it so much. I admire people who can like do things that I can't,
Shit's
and
scary.
I can't. I feel like I would, and I'm not even really claustrophobic, but I just can't foresee myself doing that. It stresses me out. Like I love latex though. I think it's pretty and cute and fun and
Like this right here.
oh yeah, obviously.
Alice painted that, by the way.
It's got cum on.
Oh yeah, why don't we talk about that? How this thing came to be. So she painted this in a day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a mini skate deck from Five Below that my kid had. Oh God, that sounds bad. I'm
so
saying
not like a tech deck, not like
no,
a little
no.
board. This
It's like a 17-inch skateboard.
It's a smaller version of a skateboard, which is why when I saw that, I asked if it was a printing on the board and wanted a full size because I collect them.
You're like, is that a one-off? I was like, well, it doesn't have to be. And then I was like, yeah, I'm
And I didn't
like, if
quite
you're
catch
interested.
the connotation about one-off.
Okay, so this painting has, and I like, it has jizz on it. I guess that's, and I thought he wanted like me to recreate it.
Semen, Alice.
Yeah.
If you're not sure what we're talking about.
Human, it has seminal fluid.
Cum, splooge, jizz.
Yeah.
What other?
Spider-Man ropes.
Spider-Man
I
ropes.
don't know.
That's good. Yeah, why not? That's funny.
I was like, what can I say? What else? What else is there?
That's it.
Ropey jizz. No, it wasn't really ropey. But yeah. So I went to therapy and I started to like access creative parts of my brain. I started crocheting a lot. And I used to do this thing where like if I found an inspirational dick, like a dick that I was like, man, I want to fuck that, or like I did fuck it and it inspired me to come, so I'm gonna crochet a
You mean
sorry.
online, like porn?
No. Okay,
Like-
well, like one was the dude that did the rope
Oh,
bondage
okay.
that I
Yeah.
saw the picture of. I like had saw his dick on the internet, and so I crocheted a version of his dick.
That's awesome.
And
You've posted those before, haven't
yeah,
you? I
That's
was gonna
fucking
say,
cool.
I've seen those, yeah.
and then it's like he had like 2 piercings on the underside, and so I turned them into smiley faces, and I mailed it to him, and then with like a pair of my underwear or something. I don't know. I thought he'd cheat and I wanted to bang him or something. I don't know. Oh God, I hope no one ever watches this. Oh God, they're gonna try and shame me. Hopefully, I don't date someone that shames me. Anyways, but so I sent it to him. He really liked it, and then it was like just like a thing I did. Like my first dom that I had, first daddy, who is all the people that I have had like DS dynamics with, like we're still friends, and I think that's really cool. Even though I acted batshit insane toward them, because I didn't know how to regulate my emotions at the time. But anyways, like he was uncircumcised, and so I crocheted his dick, and it has like the foreskin, and take the foreskin down. There's a
Aww.
smiley face, and has eyes, and a smiley. And then there was like one other one, and I did, because I had met someone during COVID times. I do this thing where I just, meet someone on the internet and then fly to them, because I want to die, I guess, or I used to, but I never do. It just always works out. And then, so like, he was like the male version of me. So that was kind of crazy. It was like a dude me. So he was just as fucking weird and accepted my weirdness. And so I crocheted his dick and he loved it. And yeah.
I saw the heart you made.
Oh yeah.
That was
the
really,
anatomical
like,
heart.
you're very talented. You should do more art for sure.
I try. I go through like periods. Like I was going to do like an Etsy store because people kept asking me to do it. And then I was like, well, I need to make 10 things. I put a limit on everything in my mind. I'm like, I have to do 10 things, or I have to do this, or I have to do that, or whatever. And then I was like, I don't know what I want to crochet, so I kind of just haven't crocheted in a while. But I like putting things down. That way when I pick them back up, like, I have more clarity, I guess. Oh, yeah, I was going to show you this. Paint. Let me see. Murder. I started this other painting. It's called I Only Fuck Unicorns. This isn't me. This is actually from a porno, but most people think it's like me that I've showed.
You did this too?
Yeah, it's not finished. It's
That's
just bright
awesome.
enough. Yeah, that's as bright as it's gonna get. But yeah.
Can we show that to Alice? Is
Yeah.
that yeah? Just hold it up right here.
Oh God, what did I just do? Hopefully nothing.
It may or may not work. I'll let you know.
Does that work?
Nope.
Oh, whoopsie.
Maybe closer.
Hear my ankle pop?
No, it's not gonna.
Oh.
Ah. Well, that's really good.
Well, it's on. I don't know why I can only paint on these little skate decks from Five Below. So ordered a few, and then I was like, but it's gotta mean something. Like it has to mean something to me, and so that meant something to me. And now I'm like at a standstill with it because, like, I have the top part done, but I don't have the bottom part done, and I don't know what I want to put on there. But I'm definitely gonna bleed on that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've done actually art with blood before.
Yeah, I love body fluids. Like, except poop and barf. I don't like those.
Yeah, those aren't no.
I mean, I just wanted to clarify. For
Again,
Alice.
no kink shaming.
No kink shaming.
But
not
you
for
know,
me.
yeah, just not for me.
Yeah, like pea's cool, but like, yeah, I was like, I'm bleeding on that one because it needs it.
So we can definitely come back to this. I have some more questions for you though.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Do you have no? You're fine. Do you have any ghost stories or like anything that you?
Oh my God, yes. Okay, this still freaks me out to this day. But look, my brain comes packing with information that no one wants.
I want the information. Alice wants the information.
Alice, don't get scared. It's okay. But so I was like in middle school, right? And I lived in the same house since I was like in third grade. And my parents were friends with the neighbors. And the son and his wife and child, they lived upstairs. And the grandparents.
So, are you still in the same house?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I live in an apartment now. My stepdad still lives in that house. And I will live in that house one day. But at this point in time, no. But it's like right down the road from where I live right now. But so the older couple, the grandparents lived downstairs. My mom was and said they were really good friends with that older couple. And unfortunately, you know, as you get older, you die. And the neighbor's husband, he died, and the woman called my parents to come over if they would and sit with her while they waited for, like, you know, the coroner or whatever, whoever gets, I don't know, whoever was coming to handle the situation. Yeah. So I was like, I was a kid, you know, I was just like, oh, okay. Like, I've always had this really weird thing with death where I just pretend it didn't happen. I've done it since I was a child. Whenever someone dies, everyone's lying to me and it didn't happen. That's my coping mechanism is ignorance and lies. But so I was doing my thing where it didn't happen, and I was just sitting there watching TV, and I was home alone, and all of a sudden, like, the doorknob started rattling, like, you know, say, you know, someone's trying to unlock their door and they're pissed because they thought, like, the deadbolt was unlocked, and, you know, aggravation sets in, and you're just like, fuck, I got all these groceries in my hand, and it's just shaking. Just rattling.
The door to the room you're in, or like...
the front door to the house.
Front door to
I'm
the
in
house.
the living room.
Okay.
And so I stand up and I'm like, hold on, because I'm a fucking little shithead. And the doorknob's just going like frantic, and I'm like, hold on, and I grab the doorknob and it's moving in my hand. So I firmly grasp it. So here's the doorknob. And I'm like this, and it's like, it looks like I'm fisting someone. So it's like doing like this, and I'd like firmly grab it, and it stops. And so I unlock the door as a human would, and no one's there. I live out in the there was no one. We lived out in the country. We lived off of like a unpaved road, like gravel road type shit, and no one was there. So I walked out on the front porch and walked around the porch. No one's there, and then I walked down, and no one's there, and looked all around. Like there's nowhere to hide. There's no trees in the front yard. It's like the next house is fucking way over there. You're not running or hiding. And so I called my parents. I was like, hey, did you guys come over here? And they're like, no. And I was like, do you see anyone around over here? Like, they're outside already. No one's been at the house. And so this doorknob was just rattling. And I swear to God, it was the neighbor's husband saying bye.
Fuck.
It was so, I'll never forget that. I can see it in my mind.
Wow. How old were you?
I was like, it had to be 7th or 8th grade.
So what do you think about that?
I think it scared the shit out of me. It was really scary. And I don't think it was meant to be scary. But I am not a paranormal. Like, I love, like, paranormal stuff, but I shut off. Don't want it to happen to me. I am chicken shit as fuck. Like, it terrifies me. I don't know.
You like to keep it on the TV screen?
Yeah, like I'm like, I watched The Exorcist like when I was in 12th grade, and I cried, and then made my mother sit on the toilet the next day while I showered because I was so scared. And then for like the next decade, imagine that fucking little bitch's head popping up and like spitting green shit.
Yeah.
And I slept with lights on.
To this day, one of the best horror movies ever.
Oh
made.
God, it's so good. It's so
good.
That fucked me up.
Fun fact about that movie: there's that one scene where she's stabbing herself.
Oh yeah.
Because of that movie, they made child labor laws. You can't film a kid doing that.
Okay, good.
Which is a good thing.
You can't.
But you literally couldn't make that movie today.
Yeah,
like
you can't. If you make a video game, you cannot have the video game giving a player capability to kill or harm children. It even goes that far.
that's good.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Which is, I mean, it's a good thing, but you really,
That's
like
that. It is a good thing because
That's
I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and there are some annoying kids that I would have definitely killed.
No.
Now, granted, there are mods to these games that people.
Oh,
make
of course.
Stuff,
Yeah.
But the idea is it can't be it can't be sold. Just like you're saying the same thing with movies. There's
Ugh.
things that cannot be. What's the term? Alluded to or not alluded to? Shown basically. Even as acting.
So, what do you think? So you think that was probably like the neighbor that had just passed
Yeah,
away?
I think he was just like saying bye.
Yeah, it makes sense because that had just happened.
Yeah,
So,
and they were next door. Like the body was still there, and who the fuck was jiggling the doorknob?
Right.
There was no one around.
And the level of a spirit just leaving
Yeah.
the body, it's freaking out, and it could have been traveling itself to every known location. It's literally trying to figure out what's going on.
Is that the only time you've ever encountered something like that?
Yes, and that's the only time like I've shut off. Like I feel like you have to be a certain level of open for it.
Yeah, you do.
And I am not. I'm trying to I can't, like, mentally, I'll go crazy. Oh, God, it terrifies me to death.
Yeah, I was raised really religiously. Are either your parents religious?
Oh, I started going to church in, like, 5th grade. Like, I asked my parents to take me to church because my friend went to church. And then I spent, like, until I was, like, out of high school, going to, like, Southern Baptist church.
Okay, so neither of your parents really went, but you decided to go on your own? So
No, I wanted to go. They started going, too, because I wanted to go. I wish I was Catholic.
You wish you were Catholic?
Yeah.
That's funny.
That sounds terrible.
That's how
That
it
sounds
I mean, you can-
adult me. Like,
You can go be Catholic.
it's not for Christ. It's all the
That's not-
pervert.
Oh,
Not the kids
nice.
stuff, obviously.
All the nun shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
I
with
was
you.
raised
I'm with
Catholic
you.
and I renounced it in my teenage years, but I know exactly what you're saying. It's a very beautiful religion, and there's certain.
I mean, like, first off, the
I
architecture,
have a whole thing with nuns.
ritual,
So, you know.
architecture, ritual, like the thought of a dude like putting a little cracker or wafer thing in my mouth, and like that's the body of
It's a
Christ.
kinky religion.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
built
yeah.
off a kink.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
obviously,
absolutely.
like the child pedophilia shit's fucked.
Yeah.
But like all the other stuff, like I can just oh my God.
What really turned me on
I
about
got
that
another-
painting that really I dig about that painting is that it looks to me like a nun.
That's
I
it's
thought it was a
latex
nun.
nun. It is a latex
Yeah.
nun.
And that's what I picked up more than it before I even picked up the ball.
Yeah.
You know, I saw that and I was like, nun. That and that's one of my things.
Yeah.
Paintings. There's these sexy paintings somebody did way back in the day of. They're like well done oil paintings, and they're nuns, but they're not pornographic necessarily, but they're very
Suggestive.
not nun-like.
Yeah.
And it's very insulting to them on a sense, but I think, that's some of the hottest shit I've ever seen.
Well, it's just like the whole thing. Like obviously, there's power dynamics all within like that type of thing, in like through my perspective, and it's like the denial of pleasure, and then it's like confession. Oh my God!
And then the
I could
pleasure that-
let me confess.
the
I'll be here
pleasure
all
that
day.
one might be receiving from having the power to deny you. or
Yeah.
The pleasure somebody's receiving from voyeuring your sin by having you admit it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my
There's
God.
a whole lot of wild shit going on. with
I
that.
love the act of like self voyeurism. Like I had this whole thing I wanted to rig up where it's like performing an act while it's being recorded and the recording is of like, okay, so like you can watch it on the TV, but there's someone recording the TV.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so it's like
Yeah.
another layer, like
Yeah.
the voyeurism of watching myself watch myself. It's like, I don't know, my brain.
That's cool.
goes too far
A
sometimes.
former girlfriend of mine, at times we would, while we were having sex, I would film 20 seconds, and then immediately play it back, and she would take it, because
Yeah,
of the
and she's,
angle
like,
she couldn't
watching.
see.
Yeah.
And she would really, it wasn't a major production. It was like grab the recorder and film 20 seconds from
Yeah.
behind, basically, where she can't see, and then hand it to her and continue while she's watching it. And it was really, it was something I hadn't thought of doing until it was suggested to me by her when she said, let's do this, And I don't know if she had ever tried that before or whatever. It just happened to come to you,
Well,
And,
sorry.
yeah, no, it was really, to me, it didn't do a lot because it wasn't my receiving of that. I was just doing that for her.
Yeah.
But the reaction that she had from it was so intense. It was so, I was like, wow, okay, this is something,
Yeah.
And, but, I've never heard of anybody really mention it as self-voyeuring. And that's
Yeah.
I dig that.
I'm really big, like, I'll, like, man, I really hope no one ever watches this. I don't really,
It's a safe space.
yeah. I'm
No
like,
one watches this show.
No, shut the fuck up. Yes, they do. Manifesting, all the good things. And
Alice won't tell anybody.
yeah, don't tell. But like, I like to film. Like if it's with someone I trust, like
Yeah,
and
I think
well,
that's
I don't
important.
I don't have casual encounters with anybody. It's like I only have sex with people that I know are solid people that I trust, and especially because like the kind of sex that I want, you can't just have that out willy nilly.
Right.
Or whatever, and not everybody that I have sex with is into that, but there's always some layer in there. Someone always like whether people know or not, there's something kinky that they like, and
Everyone's got something.
Yeah, everyone's got something. Whether
Got kink in the chain.
yeah, and so like, but I like to watch my own pornography, I guess, like amateur pornography when I get off, like by myself. Like I like to watch me, And I don't know if that's because sometimes I dissociate from myself a lot. Like, sometimes I'll look at a picture of me, I'm like, that's me. And I'm just like, but is it? But I don't know. That's like a weird thing. A weird.
I think the psychology of all this is really interesting.
I don't know. I wish I was like smarter so I could like explain.
You are super insightful. I'm learning. I need to take notes.
One of the things I wanted to touch in on is when it comes to the whole encompassing idea of BDSM. And I was talking to a friend of mine earlier about this, and he brought up that the words within that, and there's actually supposed to be 6 to the 4 letters. And he's reading them off. It's what it is: bondage, or
bondage, discipline,
sadism, masochism.
Yeah,
but he also said domination, and there's something else because it's like 2 D's and 2 S's, but they just don't put them in. And
discipline, bondage, discipline, domination. I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the other one, but they kind of fell into the same thing. But at the same time, if you look at them separately, you know, it's one of those things. Like I always personally said, it's not, bondage is not something that I personally was into.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had a girlfriend that asked me to tie her up, I was into doing that because it was pleasing to her, but it was not something that I was like, hey, let me tie you up.
Yeah.
You know, but as we discussed more of the different aspects of it, it's almost like every person could possibly find a spot in there, even if it's not on the extreme level of the name.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, for sure.
And that's when he brought up discipline, and I said, that's kind of interesting, because I think that's where a lot of the nun fetish, if you will,
yeah,
in my brain comes from, is, you know, and it's not that I want to be disciplined, you know. So what I'm finding really interesting about this is it's pulling me more scientifically through my head on these things, and being virtually married now, it's not, you know, I'm not in a 20-year-old exploratory phase of my life like I was when I was 20.
Yeah.
So it's easier to retrospect these things now because I'm not actively trying to fulfill some stuff.
It's the onion of the human brain. It's like you're always peeling back layers. Like I feel like I learn something new about myself all the time. As long as I like am curious enough to like find out like what I want. Like it's just like some stuff like I was like, ew, I would never pee on anyone. I'll piss on you right now if you want me to. Not really.
Okay.
Not
Wait,
really.
this is gonna turn into a weird podcast.
But like I was like, I'm submissive. That's it. I am a service sub. Let me do your laundry. Let me wash your hair. And then I was like,
that's not me.
yeah. And then I was like, that's not me. And then I was like I feel like I've gone through like so many of my onion layers of self-discovery, because like I always try to like pigeonhole myself, and I just learned to stop, because it's like not gonna work, because I'm always gonna like I was always like I'm submissive. One day I realized, okay, so there's like this couple online called the London Vagabond. They do a lot of like kink photography, kink fetish photography, and they are a married couple and they have a power dynamic, and it's Miss Gold and Toilet. And Toilet wants to be pissed in. He wants to be used like a human toilet. They, you know, she's his dom, and they have like a full, like, I don't know like if it's 24/7 or whatever they do, but you know, they go to like different like fetish nights and stuff, and he has like an acrylic box that he lays his head in, and people pee in it on him. And you know, obviously it's not like everybody in the world's peeing in there. I guess it's up to whoever Miss Gold chooses. I don't know their whole, you know, thing, but I saw a picture from some of their art, and there was a picture of her, and she's standing on a countertop in what looks like a public bathroom to me in a way, and he's laying down over the sink, and she's wearing like a plaid skirt and like Nike trainers and squatting, and you can see the piss stream coming down.
Nice.
And his mouth is open, and something about that hit me. It's always a photo. I'm very visuals like really like speak to me. But I was like, I want to piss in somebody's mouth, and I want them to drink it. So I went to FetLife and I put up an ad, and I was like, this is exactly what I want. I was like, I want to meet someone in a public restroom. Like, I'm really big on negotiation. I'm negotiate. That's half the fun, is like talking about what we're going to do, when we're going to do it, how we're going to do it, what's good, what's bad, what's, good to go. And also, like, I'm not an educator on this stuff. I'm just a person speaking from my personal experience in a very rapid fire, hyperactive brain. So, like, I feel like I come across, like, just out of control, because I am. But, like,
you're doing a good job, I think.
I'm trying, because it's hard for me to, like, speak in one stream of thought and actually get that thought through before I'm speaking on another thought like I'm doing right now. But I put up an ad, and I was like, hey, I want to piss in someone. Basically, I want to meet you in the bathroom. I don't want to talk. I want you to lay down. I want to piss in your mouth. I want you to drink it. If you want me to, like, slap you around a little bit, degrade you, stuff my underwear in your mouth, whatever works. For you, this is really what I want. I don't want to be touched, because everyone's like, I want to smell your farts and lick your ass clean and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, I'm not, this is not what this is about. Like, I don't want to have this is not, for me personally, it was not a sexual act. It was more of just, I didn't really know what it was about at the time. It's just, I saw it.
Exploratory.
Yeah, it spoke to me. I was like, I need to do this for some reason. And so, while waiting through all the let me eat your ass messages, and I get it, like, everybody's trying to get theirs, and I feel you. But there was not going to be that happening. So anyways, I was just like, hey, I'm sorry, I try to, like, answer everyone and just be respectful, because I understand, like, I mean, FetLife can be very fucking weird, but, like, I just try to treat everyone with respect, because I think they assume that I'm mean. But so it turned out, like, someone messaged me, and we talked for like a good month online before we decided to meet. We met, we had dinner, it was nice. He is nothing like me, in the fact that he's, like, pretty tall, and he looks like he plays college football or something, like, all-American boy. Like, aren't you precious? Like, I can see you going to church every Sunday and stuff. And I'm just like, yeah. And we hit it off. We were able, like, we had good conversation online, and it made me feel safe enough to, like, meet with him in person. And he's like, so what do you want to do? Like, I've heard any. I was like, I want to piss in you. He's like, where do you want to do it? I said, I don't really care where. Doesn't matter to me. And then he's like, do you feel comfortable coming back to my place? Sure, let's go. Like, I felt very comfortable. I try to follow my intuition always on stuff like that, and it hasn't done me wrong yet. I mean, if I get killed one day, so be it. It's in the cards. But, like, he was very nice and very sweet. Still is. And so we went into his home. Very nice, rich person's home, where I'm very feeling out of place, but I don't care. And lay down in his giant oversized shower, and I squatted over his face, and I pissed in it. And I said, fucking drink it. And he said, thank you, mistress. And I fucking was like, cha-ching! Like, it, like, spoke to me in a way that I didn't think it would, really. And then I was like, oh, I'm a fucking switch. Like, that's what this was. Oh, okay, more self-discovery to be had. And so I was like, it was such, like, I had given up a lot of my power, I feel like, in a dynamic I had previously to that. And I felt a little bit hollow inside, because I had given away so much to someone that definitely didn't deserve it and didn't respect me enough to be a dominant, and that was honestly my fault because I introduced him to something that he didn't know he was into, like a life, like he had never had sex, like rough, violent sex, and he didn't know he liked it, and then he found out he liked it, and then I became property and not a person, and that's when things get shitty real fast. And but maybe that dude drink my pee. Really, like
claim that power.
It was definitely a reclamation of power, and I feel like people get so weirded out when I say that type of thing. But I'm like, you just don't fucking get it. Like it meant I cried the next day, like in my heart. It was very healing, and that may come off a little bit absurd, but I actually saw this person later on, like quite a while later, like long enough that I would feel like maybe I was forgotten, you know? And that person thought I didn't recognize them. But when you're in public, like, I'm not going to out you, or like, I'm not going to say anything to anyone because I don't want anyone to go, well, how do you know her? She doesn't look like the type of girl you would know, you know? And so I just keep my mouth shut unless I'm spoken to. And then he came up to me. He's like, hey, nice to see you. And then we had spoken later. He's like, oh, I thought you wouldn't recognize me. I was like, how would I not recognize you? Like, I don't know if things mean as much to other people as they mean to me, but it meant a lot to me. Yeah. I'll always carry that with me. And I feel like I'm talking so sentimentally about something that someone is probably grossed the fuck out about right now. But I don't.
We're all mad here.
Yes. Oh. If you don't get it, that's fine. But
this maybe isn't the show for you.
Yeah. But yeah, it was like such a therapeutic experience, and I think that's like what I ultimately try to do with like BDSM stuff is like heal the parts of myself that are unhealed. Yeah. Like I since I was like young, I was like an angry person. Like I spent a lot of, like I came from an angry household and low self-worth and stuff. Like I was a cutter. And I would still be to this day if it was like acceptable to me. Because I like the pain. I like the way it feels. And that's probably fucked up in a way, but I don't give a shit. You know, I feel like it's my body. I take care of it. I should be able to fucking staple myself or cut myself or do whatever the fuck I want, you know?
Yeah. I think with that kind of stuff, I dated a different person than what I was talking about earlier. Yeah. Someone that had been, and wasn't at the time that we were dating, but had been like a really serious cutter. Yeah. And I guess like again, like, you know, no shame, like you said, your body, your choice. Yeah. But I guess that stuff always just makes me sad because it makes me wonder about where it comes from.
It makes me sad too. Like when I think about me,
it just makes me sad. Like someone I care about hurting themselves, and I understand that that's not really, you know, to them it's that they don't see it the same way. Yeah. It just makes me sad though when I see it.
It's a release.
Yeah. I understand.
It doesn't make anyone happy to see. I look at myself like I'm an adult. Like, I mean, like I tattoo myself. Like I get Botox injected in my face. I get my lips inflated with filler. I eat sugar way too much. You know, like I'm like
that's definitely on there with.
Yeah, I'm like there's so many ways of self. And I get that psychologically it's not that great.
Okay. So
what a note to end on.
No, we're definitely not done. I have more questions.
Okay,
if you got time.
No, I have all the time in the world. Yeah. I thought he was saying it was time's up.
No, he's just telling me to hurry it along.
Oh, sorry.
That's just the hour mark notice.
Okay. I told you I can fucking talk my head off.
We could go for another hour if you want.
I am like
absolutely would love to have you back again and again.
Maybe if I take like notes so that because I feel like you're gonna watch this back and be like, what the fuck is this bitch?
We've covered a lot of ground, talked about a lot of different things. I think we definitely like could talk for like a lot more. So maybe we have you back another time.
I'm always down.
So
we try to think about Alice that's sitting here with us, because for her to intake
Oh yeah, she's
too
just
much,
like,
she's, and I'm so happy to be able to open up this door for her, because this is not a door we've been able to really open up and find anybody.
You are one of the most interesting guests we've had on, for sure.
well, thanks. I
Yeah.
mean, like, I just try to. I've always, I don't know. I'm like, okay, I have a really like big thing for clowns. I love clown dolls. Everyone's terrified of clowns, and I'm always like, I get emotional about inanimate objects. A lot. I feel like emotional attachment. Not to like me. I need to own like this thing. I need to have this thing. But I'm just like, I love this thing because no one else loves it.
Aw.
And I feel like clowns are like really misunderstood, and I've always felt misunderstood. And I feel like I was like pretty ugly growing up. Like most people, I was like a fat kid. I was like, and I got made fun of, and I was weird and dressed like a boy and stuff. And then it's like I got pretty, and everyone started to listen. So I try to like talk about shit that I fucking care about and that like means something to me, for all the other fucking weirdos that no one's listening to.
There's a I can't remember her name right now. There's a sexy clown I follow on Instagram. That's
Oh my
really
god,
cool.
send it to me.
I'll send it to you.
I love clowns so much. But
So-
like I acknowledge I'm conventionally attractive now, and I will use that to my benefit until I am no longer.
Use it to spread your message, because
Yeah.
you have a lot of really interesting, important things to say.
Everyone just thinks I'm weird, but I
Kink
don't
is
care.
healthy, and
Yes.
I really appreciate you being so open about it. Before we leave, just a couple more things. So you mentioned that you've been sober for a really long time.
Yes.
That happened before you kind of discovered BDSM.
Yeah.
And got into that, right?
Yeah. I will hit my 10-year mark September 15th.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Never thought that would be fucking me, for sure. Like, having like an undiagnosed personality disorder, I always thought alcohol was my personality. It was dulling down my personality, because I am very much
That's
crazier,
fascinating.
probably. Like, not crazy. I mean, maybe, but
It reminds me of something David Bowie said when they asked him about his alcohol use, and he said that he wouldn't go back to it because it prevents you from having relationships with people.
it does.
And because it's like you're saying, that becomes your identity, and it's not actually you.
It's a fog of a layer between you and someone else.
Right.
One of my best friends not too long ago told me that they're the realest version of themselves when they're drunk, and I'm like, no, dude,
No.
that's not true.
I mean, like, drunk thoughts,
And it just made me
drunk
really sad when
words
he
or
said that.
sober thoughts or whatever. But, like, I feel like people always, try to get real emotional and, like, tell the truth when they're drunk. And I'm just like, I don't understand that. Like,
It's not really it's not even like you're being more honest. You're just
Yeah.
being more emotional.
Well, people
Yeah, I
say
guess
that,
so.
drinking brings the truth out, but they don't. Drinking doesn't bring facts out.
Yeah.
it brings emotion.
It brings
Yes,
the
there we
emotional
go.
Truth that you're dealing with at that moment. And there might be some real truth in that, but you're still not actually being true to that truth.
Yeah.
Because you got to get drunk to say it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, man. He should, your friend, he or she, or they should, like, try, just take a good, like, 6 months off and,
Yeah.
like, see how that feels, because I can tell you I'll never drink again. Never.
Hear, hear.
Couldn't
I,
imagine that, being that person.
I hope to be where y'all are one day about that, because I'm the kind of person that, like, I go to a lot of shows,
Yeah.
and I have to have, like, something. It used to be like
the
that's how it
like
was with smoking too. Is like I like something to do, and like that's you can
It's like
find
the
healthy.
social
Mm-hmm.
thing. Let me tell you right now, most places, and I do this, I drink non-alcoholic beer.
That's smart.
I love
Smart.
beer. Okay, like, I love the taste of beer. I'm like, since I was like a little kid, my dad would put his like Budweiser by the recliner, and I would grab it and chug as much as I can. So, like, honestly, they should put me in rehab early on. But, like, JK. But like, non-alcoholic beer, it tastes just, I guess it tastes like beer. I
You
mean,
can
it
trick
tastes like
yourself a
my
little bit,
memory
yeah.
of beer. And then everyone thinks you're drinking. I've been accused of being drunk. I was like, no, I am not drunk, and I'm not on cocaine. Thank you.
This is
This
just
is me, raw dog in life.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
If I met you for the first time, I might think that too.
Oh yeah, like if I
You're
have
just
a
very
drink
high
right now,
energy. It's not a bad thing either.
I can't help it. It's just
Yeah.
like I just get like, it's like, yeah, it's like I'm a wrecking ball of a human. But yeah, try non-alcoholic beer. I mean, try
Okay.
that, or even I don't know. I like drinking. I always will. I ask everywhere I go. I'm like, you know, I'll go beer, and it always works for me. Especially like like the social aspect of it and everything. It's like people think you're doing what they're doing. No one's
Yeah.
asking you. Like, what are
Yeah.
you drinking?
Anytime I go
Beer.
somewhere and if I even order, because I usually won't drink a regular fountain Coke.
Mhm.
know. But if I do order a soft drink like that, I will prefer them. And they usually will put it in a highball glass.
Yeah.
And it looks like you're drinking. And what actually cracks me up for my own little thing is I will pick it up with 2 fingers and walk around like I'm half smashed sometimes. just
Oh
to
my
talk to
gosh.
people.
Me
And
at the
then,
work Christmas party
you know,
2 years ago,
it's just-
chugging juice like a fiend. I was like,
You know, it's like I said, I want to get on stage and get a empty bottle of whiskey filled with tea.
yeah.
So after every song, I just bubble that damn thing, and people are like, "My God, I can't believe
Yeah.
played all night drinking the fucking 5th of whiskey."
Dude,
You know.
the world is an illusion. You can make people believe anything. I'm for real. Like,
And what
Yeah.
that'll do is make the
Yeah.
bar sales go up,
yeah.
because while I don't condone alcohol, I condone
Money.
supporting.
Yeah, local
The venue
venues
that
and
I'm
stuff.
playing.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Support your local venues, Alice.
Always.
So, have you ever
And
had
thrift everything you own.
a near-death experience?
No. I don't want one. I don't God knows I can't handle
I
it.
hope you never have one.
Yeah.
That's
I don't want to
not-
die ever. I want to be
Yeah.
this pretty always.
What do you think happens when we die?
I was raised that we die and go to heaven or hell, but I don't really know if death is death. Now I question. I definitely think something is around that corner, and it's going to be way less shitty than life has been, and it's going to be an adventure for sure. Like I don't see my. I mean, like if I get. Also, let me just say this: I'm not going to heaven if there ain't no fucking. Cause like.
Yeah.
I say okay.
Celibate heaven sucks.
Okay, they said that heaven is supposed to be like the most amazing thing ever. Like it's supposed to be it's supposed to be just like
Is it an eternal orgasm?
it's just like it's supposed to be no pain, all pleasure, praise the Lord.
Sounds like an eternal orgasm.
They
of the
never said it
strongest
in the
ecstasy
Bible.
You've ever eaten for eternity.
That would be sick. In the Bible it says we ain't fucking in heaven.
Does it?
It doesn't say we're not. It doesn't say we
I don't-
are.
Yeah, I don't think it. Yeah, I think the verdict's out on that one. Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah, I also want to know. That's something I ask
not
everyone
going.
is what do you think happens after we die? Because it's
Yeah.
something I love hearing different people's answer to it. Because no one knows at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Some people act like they know. It's
No.
like, well, I know where I'm going after I die. And it's like, no, you don't. You don't know shit.
No, I
You
really.
don't know fucking shit till you get there.
It's gonna be. I just see it. It's another adventure. It's like.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
agree with you there. It's. I've had. We can talk about this
Do you
some
have
other
any
time. But I've had a lot of experiences that make me think that we are not. This is not it.
No.
Um,
I wonder if I'm asleep right now. Sometimes, like I'm in a bubble.
what even is life? We might be asleep. We might. Yeah.
Look, this is the way.
Gently down the stream.
This is the way I feel about stuff. Like when people say things to me, I'm just like, I'm gonna fucking die, no matter what I do. I'm going to fucking die. It doesn't matter if I'm a good person, a bad person, like whatever I do, I'm gonna fucking die anyway. So like I film this podcast and what my fucking aunt sees it or something. I don't care. I'm
Yeah.
gonna die.
So what?
Like
She's gonna die too.
yeah, we're all gonna die, and none of this. I personally, I don't want to be remembered necessarily. I like the freedom of doing whatever the fuck I want, and no one generally knows about what the fuck I'm doing.
It's your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I could never be like a celebrity because I don't want people to remember me.
That's gotta suck to be constantly watched all the time.
Worried about your
Like,
legacy.
this is about
My
Yeah.
legacy is, I was here, now I'm not.
Hmm.
And I told my kids to live the life you want. You're your own person.
I think
Well, that is the best thing you can do with your legacy is when you breed, when you create life and start that cycle over. A large piece of you is your legacy, and I think that is the most important thing you can do, rather than videotaping what you believe in.
Yeah.
You know, when you instill it in a person to be better than you were, you are leaving the world better than you came into it.
Yeah.
that's I love that. It's the most important thing you can do is to bring children into the world and also like make art, like because that's a creation, that's a piece of you as well.
Yeah.
Well, Alice, thank you so much for being here. This has been a blast.
Thank you. Alice,
would
we didn't scare you.
She's fine. She's a big girl. I would love to have you back sometime. We should definitely talk again in the
Sounds
future.
good to me.
Yeah. And other Alice, we will see you next week.
Have fun.
Bye.
Cause mischief.